Welcome to another episode of Agent versus Lender, and today we have with us Amanda.
Schleininger.
Schleininger.
Yeah.
I've been practicing this for the last 20 minutes, and I still can't get it. I don't know. It's not a hard name. Amanda Schleininger.
Yes.
And
Yes, that is me.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, woo. She is the owner, broker of Hustle and Heart Real Estate. She's been with other companies. She's had her own brokerage. She's now with another brokerage, but she still has her Hustle and Heart. And so she's like an amazing producer. She's an amazing manager. But what makes this podcast so interesting that you might want to turn this onto YouTube instead of listening to it on a podcast is that she has an amazing story of rags to riches. She's been as low as you can be and has picked herself up and gone on to be really successful. So I promise you want to hear this story. So we're going to get to that in a minute, though. So let's talk about you, where you're at today.
Okay.
You're Hustle and Heart, and you. So tell us a little bit about your business.
So I own Hustle and Heart Real Estate Group, and now that's just our team name. I did join another brokerage. Yes, Hustle and Heart. Go follow us, support us. We would love the opportunity to earn your business. But we operate out of downtown Ogden, so we're in downtown Ogden. We service the greater Wasatch Front, but we are with a different brokerage. So I did shut down my own brokerage recently and joined a one that's expanding across the United States. It's a cloud-based service. It's called Real, and I love the idea of not having to babysit agents to grow my business.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
I think sometimes less is more that way. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it just didn't serve me anymore. It was time to kind of move on and understand that there's other people that will do that, and their primary focus is that. But me, a lot of my production on the team is me. Right. So it's I would rather produce than not, to be honest.
And so quite honestly, that's the same reason why I don't have my own brokerage.
Yeah.
My own mortgage, broker company,
Yes.
which I've had in the past.
Yes.
But because I did not want to do the same things. And,
Yes.
And I just found that it freed up some time for me not having to do those other things.
Right.
So,
Right.
So.
Totally.
So her name is Hustle and Heart. It's well named. Well, before we get to that, I think I saw that you were top 1% is that like in the nation?
Yeah, well, as far as numbers, yep. So production, obviously we had lower sales price here. So based off numbers of productions, meaning closed transactions, the number that I've done, average agents sell about 5 a year. That number might have gone up with recently, but last year, this year's been tough, obviously, because we're low inventory and migration going on and things like that. So, but that's forced me to grow in other ways. I've taken on flipping and things like that. So I'm still, making up in volume in just different ways, but number of transactions has gone down this year. But last year, during COVID, I still did 50. So in 2020, I still did 50 transactions. The year before that, I did I think it was 67 and then 96 and then 75. So I've done a lot of production in the amount of years that I've been doing this. So I've been doing this I've been in real estate for 9 years, and I managed 5 small construction companies for about 10 years before that. My dad's a builder and developer. Construction houses is in my blood.
Yeah, cool.
So
I know that numbers like that don't come in agents with agents. Those are phenomenal numbers. You're just shy of 100 that 1 year, which is a phenomenal amount. That's like, that doesn't come without hustle.
Yeah,
it does not come without hustle.
Yes,
and I'm sure there's, and I know when I've had really high numbers, quite honestly, I'm probably higher than I've ever been. But I have a team behind me, which is why I've moved away from doing everything myself is because I can still do really high numbers,
Yes.
but not do everything.
Yep.
But the first years, like there was a lot of sacrifice on my part, and I'm assuming that's probably the same way with you.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like anything in life, the cool thing is obviously to do those kind of numbers, you have to have a lot of hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to have a lot of heart, because at the end of the day, you're literally putting other people's dreams and manifesting them into reality ahead of your own, sometimes human basic needs sometimes.
Yeah,
There would
right.
be days that I wouldn't leave my desk for 14 hours and go get a glass of water. So it's definitely come with a lot of sacrifice. In addition to that, kids' birthdays, I've wrote contracts on Christmas. So it's been a lot of work to get where I am. But I think the one thing that I've learned over time is sometimes less is more, in the sense that, it's awesome to know that I have that much hustle and heart to do those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
But it's also awesome to know that I can check myself and get back into my heart space and kind of put the hustle a little bit toned down. It's still huge numbers. You know what I mean? But
Right,
to tone it down to make sure that the people that I'm doing it for, my kids and my family, are my priority. If I'm doing it for them, they need to be in my life more than they were when I was doing those kind of numbers.
Right. Yeah. Totally agree. So I ran into a real estate agent today. By the way, Mandy has named this well, her hustle and heart, because everybody loves Mandy. And I ran into a real estate agent, Lori Reed, today, and she asked me what I was doing later, and I said, I'm doing a podcast. She goes, oh, who? And I told her who I was doing it, and she goes, I love Amanda. She said that, and she said, I'll tell you why. She said that she is the most authentic person that I know. We are always told to go out, be your authentic self. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. And I think you are like the epitome of that. Like you aren't afraid to be who you are.
Right.
And if somebody doesn't like you, you still love them. It's just like she's like the first one to come up and give you a hug. And, so Mandy is just she's just really awesome. And I'm not saying that because she's right here, but she really is. She really is. So she's named that hustle and heart. Hustle, obviously, with those kind of numbers, the hustle comes, but she really has the heart too. So
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually take a lot of pride in that, and thanks to Lori and thanks to you for that, because it's not always easy, right? We're in a world where we're programmed to look perfect, drive the perfect car, have the perfect house on the hill, keeping up with the Jones mentality. If you buy this, you'll feel like you're enough. We're constantly programmed as if we are not enough as we are. And I think, that is the biggest facade and the biggest joke on humanity ever. Because
I agree.
We are born complete just as we are. And if we went into the world more childlike, which is kind of how I am, I'm very playful. I mean, I know my stuff, obviously, and I know how to get things done, and I can jump into the left brain, right brain, and do this. But I think a lot of the times we're programmed as if we're not enough just as we are, when really we are complete and whole in any given moment.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think once you understand how the bigger picture works on the world, and I think a lot of that actually comes from, my history. Like when you've had nothing and you've had everything and you've watched the way that people treat you differently, you cannot not see or feel that. Like, when someone makes you feel like you're nothing because you've had nothing, and then you've had everything and they act like you're somebody, that's not right. So I feel like, it's my job to go out and help spread the love. That's the name of my nonprofit is I take a portion of each one of my transactions and I put it into my nonprofit, and I go back and give to the community in a lot of variety of ways. I deal a lot with homelessness, women and battered children and things like that. But also just in every interaction that I meet, whether it's another agent that, they might look at me as competition. They're not to me. They're just another person trying to provide for their family, and they're worthy of love, and so am I, So I think to go out and live as myself, it's because I've always, when I've had everything or nothing, I've always just been me. And I've always been worthy of love. And I've always been doing the best I could in whatever moment I was in.
Okay, so this is a great transition. So,
I'm going to take a glass of water.
okay, yeah, that's okay. So Mandy has, so I want to get to your nonprofit, but we're going to get to that. So remind me to get to that.
Okay.
So she said she's had nothing. So she's really successful, top 1%, but it's not always been that way.
Right.
So take us back. How many years ago before you were in real estate? Like, take us back. How many years do we want to go back?
Okay. So, okay.
So listen up, because this is where the story gets really, really interesting, and it's an amazing story. So I really want you to catch this. So take us back a few years.
Okay. So I grew up in a family of divorced parents. Okay, so they divorced when I was 2. My brothers went and lived with my dad up here in Ogden. Me and my sister lived with my mom in Provo. Eventually, when you're in a household where there's not a lot of parental supervision and you're forced to kind of grow up at a young age because they're both working, to try and provide.
Right, absolutely.
You end up thinking, well, at least me, I was always a lot more mature than most people my age. So I grew up really quick, which means I started doing things that normal 12 and 13-year-olds shouldn't have been doing. You know what I mean?
Sure,
so
absolutely.
I was hanging out with 19-year-olds and I was doing things that, 19-year-olds were doing, which led me into a position to where I was no longer living with my mom. She couldn't handle me. So I moved in with my dad at the age of 13, to which, I got into counseling, and they were like, okay, let's get her on track. I actually tried meth for the first time at age 12.
Wow.
I had sex for the first time at age 12. I was a baby.
Yeah.
But I had the mind of an adult, or so I thought, because I was in positions where I was forced to grow up.
Yeah.
And when I tried meth for the first time and I came down, I actually ended up beating the shit out of my mom because I didn't know how to handle any of that. I didn't even know what I took, to be honest. Like, I didn't know what that was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so,
yeah, you were hanging out with adults and they gave it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
So that led me up to my dad's, to where, we got back on track and things were going good until I was about, 17. Yeah, 16, I started dabbling back into things, and meth again became into my life. And my boyfriend's mom actually gave him a rock to sell to make money. I mean, this is the kind of family that he was raised in, and I always was attracted to people that I thought I could save or that I could help. And I still have that in me, but now I am a lot stronger in who I am and my boundaries and things. But I jeopardized myself.
At 12 to 16 years old, you can't separate some of that. It's just like you think you're saving somebody, but in reality they're
I thought, oh my God, I've made it out. I'm doing so good. I've been good for years, and I can help you because I helped me, and let me lift you out of this water. You know what I mean? And in the process, I drowned myself.
Yep.
And then I was right back to where I was, and I was homeless by 17. And so
literally living on the streets.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And actually, these streets, like, I drive by one of the houses I used to hang out at and get high in. It's like right in back here on Adams, 25th and Adams, like right over there. And so it's a constant reminder when I come to this office, one block away, of like where I've been, and what I've done in my life, and what I don't ever want to be again.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like the hustle and the grind is like part of just nature. It's who I am. I'm a go-getter. I'm like, yeah. But also a part of it is like, I never want to feel that way again.
Yeah.
I never want to be on the streets where people walk by and they don't even acknowledge you and look in your eye as if you are human, because they think they're better than. You know what I mean? When really I was worthy of love then, and I'm worthy of love now, and I always have been. And so when you've had nothing and you've had everything, and you see the way that people treat you, you realize that the world is a little messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're all humans. We're all worthy of love, and we're all deserving of a human basic need, which is connection, acknowledgement. You know what I mean? And all those things. And I can't imagine all the people out there that aren't getting it. No wonder why they don't get help, you know? Thank God I had a family that loved me enough to say, hey, you know, are you okay? Like, hey, my dad would drive around and find me on these streets, and he would make sure he would pick me up and take me to go get my depot shot so that I wouldn't have a baby while I was in that situation. Like, I can thank him for a lot of things, you know, like he made it where I waited and had the babies I have. And so, you know, they were meant to come when they were meant to come, but the fact that I wasn't out there doing things and bringing more people into that kind of chaos, I'm eternally indebted to him.
Sure.
And them for that, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so.
Yeah.
So you have seen, like, I'm going to say the depths of hell.
Yeah.
I mean, you've pretty much been there.
Yes.
How did you pick yourself up and get out?
You know, it was as cliche as it sounds. Like, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I knew better. I was always loved. See, that's the thing. Like, my family, it was my love for people that got me into trouble. Actually, it wasn't because of, yeah, sure, my parents were married and divorced 3 times each, but, and that had its own issues, but I was always loved. I was always told I was loved. I was always shown that I was loved. We didn't always have everything. We coupon clipped like they did. You know, my dad's a self-made millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't always easy, but I saw that hustle and that grit. So I always knew right from wrong in my belief system. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I was also very in love with people and very curious as a kid, you know what I mean, as to why things and why people do what they do, and, well, let me try it, you know what I mean, and it led me down a dark alley. Yeah.
So did that curiosity, what did that lead to? So how did you get out of basically the depths of hell? How did you start climbing out? I know that you were shown love, and I know that helped, but how did you literally start going in your head? You said you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
So where did we go from there?
Going to jail, being homeless, you know, not having food, literally scrounging up, you know, enough change to get a pizza pocket at the corner store, that little ghetto one back here. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just, honestly, I found myself in the bottom of the deep, dark trenches, where when you're not getting that human interaction, you're barely malnourished. Like, you're literally about ready. Like, my family literally thought I was going to die from malnourished. I was 70 pounds.
Wow.
My sister could pinch her hands when I would go. They would invite me for dinners, and I was so embarrassed I would never want to go because I was ashamed.
Sure.
You know, I didn't want to go. Like, and when I would eat, my mouth would hurt, like, because I hadn't eaten so long. Like, it would hurt. Thank God I have my teeth. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? But it was the depths of hell, and not getting your human basic needs met in a lot of different ways, where it was like, I, you know, was seeking validation outside of myself for so many years, and I still love connection with people. But it wasn't until I was in a state of solitude and the world was closed off for me that I truly actually even found myself. Like, that was like when I, like, from source, like I knew what my purpose was, and it was like, you got to get out of this, and you got to help every person that is in this situation. You got to shine your light so bright that you guide these people in from their stormy seas like a lighthouse on the beach, because you can do it.
So fast forward.
Yeah.
To you got, I don't know if real estate was like your first thing, or I'm sure you got out and you know, you started.
Stages.
Yeah. Stages. So, and I don't know that we need to go through all those stages.
Yep.
So let's just fast forward. So we know you finally came to realization that you got to do something. You're going to die.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It was do or die.
Okay. So and let's fast forward to today. So and we sort of talked about today. About where you're at, which is like an amazing transformation. Like it's just like
it's like a butterfly and a cocoon, like a
right,
cocoon and butterfly
exactly.
story. That's why I have a big one on my back.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So you have so many stories, and so I don't know if we'll have time for that one.
Yep.
But let's talk about. You said that you want to shine your light for people that are in that situation. So how are you doing that?
So I love that. Like I do that in every interaction that I meet. I think just acknowledging people even on the street by giving them eye contact, calling your server by their name, saying please and thank you. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Holding a door.
So that's something that like all of us
everyone
can
do these things. Like those were the basics that were not even being met. Like, and then you go deeper into like, self-development. Like I went on this journey of like finding myself, a spiritual journey of like going in and figuring out, who am I? What am I here for? What is my purpose? How can I accomplish that? I love people. I'm great at these things. Like, it started off in steps. Like I started off as a cashier at Walmart, getting out of it. Mm-hmm. I started, and then I went on to manage one company, and then a couple other companies came forward because I was kicking butt at that. So like pretty soon everyone in the building wanted me to manage their books and do all of this work. And then the economy tanked. So building wasn't going on. So I was forced into pre-existing, but going on, I think, into how I keep spreading that light is like I offer free self-development courses here at my office. I have a series called Co-Creating a Beautiful Life series and workshops where I invite different speakers. Some of them are TED Talk speakers. Some of them are life coaches. Some of them are amazing friends with beautiful stories like mine that can help and resonate with other people to give them hope, right? To give them hope.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all you need to start with is a little bit of hope and a lot of love, and people can make it out of almost anything. Like I'm living, walking, talking proof.
Right.
If you show up, you can do and be and go wherever you want. There's no box. There's no limits. We're boundless beings. Literally, we are, everything that we want is within us now and always has been and always will be. So these things that we have, you can never take that away from me and let it make me feel like I am less than anyone at any, or more than. You can't give it to me and make me feel more than, because I've had nothing and I've had everything and I'm still me. I will never let these things make or break me. And when you live in a life where you're contributing, and you live in a life where you're living in your purpose, and maybe not everybody understands you or they agree or they judge you, that's not my problem. That's has more to do with them than it has to do with me, because I know who I am and what I stand for. Mm-hmm. I know I'm a good person, and I know I give back in a lot of different ways. Even my little assistant, she's so damn cute. Like I love her, but she lost her parents. Like she's someone that I coach and pay it forward with every day, saying she has the struggles that like I had at 19, feeling alone and all these things. And so to give her and help her get these tools and sharpen them and paint her own canvas in this world is a way that, I give back. I give back in ways like, to the homeless shelter. I give every kid in every homeless shelter an Easter basket every year. COVID messed that up, but you know what I mean?
Sure,
but
yeah, right.
Because I've been them. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about the kids in this are all the ones that are innocent. Me as a kid that felt alone, that forced me to want to be an adult because adults looked happy or like they had it all. Like the kids are something special to me too. You know what I mean? Like it's all for my kids, the universe, the world. Like community to me is everything, because this is where we can create change. I am, I have a part of my purpose and part of the golden nuggets that I found in my shit trench when I had nothing, but I found everything, and it was within me the whole time. Was, part of my purpose is to change the millions of people's lives in the world in one way or another. And how do you do that? That's such a big thing that came to me like, well, but how? And it starts with me. So I took one step at a time, just changing me for the better and trying to be better than I was yesterday every single day, and getting up even when I didn't want to, and even when people would say, oh yeah, well, her past, they can say whatever. I'm proud of my past. It wasn't always pretty, but I'm proud of it because it made me who I am today.
Right.
You know?
We all have our own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody has a
If
different
everyone
path.
opened their closet the way I do, when you know what, you can be authentic. So to go back into Lori and all of that, you can live authentic when you have nothing to hide.
Right.
I have nothing to hide.
Yeah,
that's how it's
easy.
easy.
What? Good for you. If we were all like more like you, that would just be, you know, we would just be. I think it would be very freeing for all of us if we were able to do that.
And you know what? These are shackles that we put on ourselves that have been programmed on us by parents. Like, oh, don't do that. Oh, this won't make so-and-so proud. Like, come on. Let the kids be kids. Let them put sand in their mouth. Let them go play in the dirt. You know what I mean? Like,
totally,
let them just go learn life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay. So you have a nonprofit foundation.
Yes. Yep.
What is that called?
That is called Spread the Love Nonprofit.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does that do?
So that gives back. So that's how I've done all of the community
Easter
projects,
baskets.
the Easter baskets to the homeless shelter. We would do Every Kid Deserves a Birthday. And so we would go to the homeless shelter and we would get a head count, right? Usually there's like 75 kids. Like, what are the ages? What are the sexes of these kids? And we buy each of them a big bag full of toys for that age. And we do bounce houses, princesses, face paintings, all these things for these kids. And on one day a year, throw a birthday party for all the kids in the homeless shelter.
That's cool.
So Every Kid Deserves a Birthday. We do Ogden River cleanup projects. We do the Co-Creating a Beautiful Life series and workshops, which is self-development course. We also, I'm huge in music therapy. So I contribute towards, the concert series here in Ogden. So it's like all these things that I feel are therapeutic and or beneficial or healing, that basically come down to just spreading love. I like to contribute to or towards. Yeah.
So is that something that other people can get involved with?
Absolutely, in a lot of ways. So
I mean, like your foundation, can people get involved with that?
Absolutely.
How do we get involved?
Reach out to me on Facebook. We can drop that in your thing. But Amanda Schleininger, on any of our platforms, or Hustle and Heart Real Estate Group on any of the normal platforms. Yeah, absolutely. Like this last year, we gave Christmas to 95 kids. It was awesome. We came out here on Thanksgiving Day and fed 100 homeless people right here in the park. I mean, we do a lot. Like, honestly, a lot of my work, like the reason my production numbers have gone down is because I've done more with the nonprofit. And honestly, it's the numbers that pays for the nonprofit, because I don't ever do a call to action to get donations. So it's because I'm passionate about it.
You know what? Then I'm going to give one now. So I want you to reach out to Amanda.
Oh.
And no, seriously, man, this is like a really important thing, and obviously it's dear to your heart, because if you've listened to the story, there's a reason why it's really
absolutely
important to her. But it should be important to all of us.
I agree.
So reach out to Amanda. What's the best way for them to reach you?
Probably just Facebook. Amanda Schleininger, Schlein as in Nancy, IN as in Nancy, GER.
Okay. Yeah, reach out to her. You know what? If you can't find her, call me.
Yeah.
Just call me, and I'll get you in touch with her.
I love it. Yeah, I'm open to any and all donations, and that means with time too.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
It takes
Time,
people,
money,
money, all of it. Like it takes all of it. It takes a village.
Right.
So like I couldn't do. That's the cool thing about this is I always, in everything that I do, it's not the Miss Mandy show, but I'll do it alone if I have to. I don't care. I'm doing it. Yeah. But I always do a call to action on every event that I do, and I try to get as many people there as possible, because in giving Ron, it's like I receive so much, and so does everyone else.
Yep.
So it's like a lot of people let it hold them back, like the monetary. Well, I don't have a lot of money, but you have time, right? We all have time. We can carve time out. And you know, I promise you, a lot of these people out here, all they want is your time. All they want to do is be acknowledged. They just want to know that they're loved, which I keep referencing worthy of love. And that's because my name means worthy of love.
Oh.
I have it tattooed across my heart, but it means worthy of love, and I didn't know that for a lot of years. And the weird thing is that's my purpose, right? My purpose is to make sure that everyone feels worthy of love in any given moment, and that they're doing the best they can with what they have. And sometimes those days are better than others. Sometimes we have worse days than others, and that's okay. Because you know what? We're here having a human experience. We're here to learn to grow and to surrender and to contribute and just do the best that we can and try to inspire others to do the same. You know, our mistakes don't define who we are. And when I say mistakes or failing forward, yeah, you're failing forward, but honestly, I don't even like the word mistakes. I like to take that out. I see them as opportunities to grow. And with the right perspective and mindset, that's all they are. You know, there's a bunch of little golden nuggets out there. You're like, oh, you know, people get mad at themselves. And I'm like, yes, I learned something. I'm going to be better tomorrow because I learned this. And now that I know better, I can do better.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
So it's like we have no reason to sit in a world full of hate and resentments and judgments and, you know, feeling like failures. Like we're all beautiful beings. And that's what I see the world as. And so when I have other people judge me, like, that's fine because I still might see myself that way too. You know?
Amanda, this has been like an amazing, I could sit here and talk to you all day.
All day. We almost did.
Yeah, we
had a couple retakes.
We did. We did. So
I love it.
again, I'm just gonna implore you to reach out to Amanda. Reach out to her. You know, if you have real estate needs, obviously reach out to her because that's what helps feed this whole thing too. Time, donations. If you have, some of us seem to have a little bit more money than we have time.
Yeah.
Most of us have more time than money.
Yes.
So reach out to Amanda, help her out with this cause.
I would love that.
And congratulations on and I don't know if we said this at the beginning, but at the beginning, I think we did it on a retake because I forgot to hit the record button. So, so the very beginning had to be redone. But she said this in one of the takes is that she is finding, and I'm finding this for myself too, which is why I have a team behind me. Is that time is really precious.
Oh yeah.
Time is so precious.
It is.
And that's why oftentimes people will give money instead of time. Mm-hmm. But because we can go make more money.
Yeah.
But we can't get back time. We can't ever get that time. But that
time in this kind of a situation, I promise you, is way more profitable than money.
Yes. That's exactly where I was going with
gold.
This. Yes. So time. So if you can spend time, please reach out to her, help her out in this cause, and yeah. So any words of wisdom before? You know, I always like to bring things back to a business perspective. Sometimes, as real estate agents, as loan officers, we get caught up in trying to do more and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And we get to a point where we, and I reached this actually only a couple of years ago, where I realized the more and more, because I didn't have a goal of what does it look like at my end? You know, where am I ever done?
Yeah.
And if you don't have an end in sight, you're never done.
You just keep going.
You're just never done. And so I finally come to the realization that, like, I've got gray hair. So it's just like, I've got to start thinking about time, and I want more time with family. And so that's why I started growing my team, which sounds really dumb. But it's so true, is I'm doing more production now and working less. than I have or have done in the past because I have a really great team behind me.
Yes.
And so it allows me to get out and talk to you and talk to other people. So it allows me to do these things that are just more fun. And it allows me to go out and spend time with family and spend time with trans and spend time helping causes like yours.
Yes.
So.
And that's 100% where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly why I'm saying, like, there's only so much time you have.
Yeah.
And I was dedicating it all to the hustle with heart, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's, I want to shift that time more into those things that are more of my purpose,
Yep.
with the people that mean most to us, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. So what I can leave it with is, if you are looking to make a move, spread the love with Hustle and Heart Real Estate Group.
Hey, there you go. And you know how to get hold of her.
Yep.
Do you want to give people a phone number?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, give her.
Yeah, you guys can reach me at 801-430-2517.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Mandy.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And as always, if you ever need to reach out to me, me or my team, you can reach me at 801-628-7667. And if I don't answer, somebody on my team will. Oftentimes I answer, but if I'm not available, somebody will answer.
I love it.
So anyway, that will bring. So thanks a lot. Again,
Thank you.
Thanks for spending some time with me today,
Thank you so much.
and with our listeners too. This is like one of my favorite ones here.
Oh, I love that.
So this will bring. So that's just going to wrap it up, and this will bring to close another episode of Agent versus Lender.
Woo!